How's it going? I'm Matt. I'm a C4 quadriplegic. I broke my neck 23 years ago in a dirt bike accident. I'm paralyzed from the chest down. I am currently extremely invested in the hobbies of RCing, and here I am paralyzed, but I'm not stopping me. I broke my neck 23 years ago in a dirt bike accident in Pismo Beach. The sand dunes, for those of you that aren't familiar, they're ever changing. And I just happened to go the wrong way at the wrong time. And I rolled down a hill and broke my neck and my wrist and my pelvis and my collarbone and tore a hole in my small intestine that they didn't find for 10 days. So I almost died from that. After that, I said, I'm gonna live life to the fullest. And I was healed from all that business. As soon as I was healed, 4 months in the hospital, I was back at it as fast as I could. And I was sitting in a side-by-side or sitting on my buddy's go-kart, sitting passenger on a go-kart just to have some adrenaline. And then I found RC. I've always loved RC before I broke my neck, and me and my dad were really heavily into it, and I thought I was done, playing LBRC because I don't have the use of my hands. So I thought I was not gonna be able to do that until I slowly started figuring out little ways. So.
How did you get into RC?
I got into RC back when I was my first real RC car that wasn't a toy from Toys R Us. I think I was 6, and I think my dad might have bought it more for him than for me. But I was 6, and I remember that thing flying all around and breaking it, and then it sat around forever, and I actually had it all the way up until I broke my neck. And then I finally got rid of it because it was just all parts and pieces. But I've always been into RC as a young kid, and then especially now as an adult, into the more hobby style of the RC and the, what would you say, the building. I like the building aspect of going from just a bunch of pieces to a full working vehicle that now you're out driving and you know the ins and outs of.
Do you remember what that first RC car was?
My first the Cox Bandito. Then after that, we ended up with like Nitro RS4s, and I think that's what the last thing we were running before we crashed. Yeah, because I had mine had 2-speed and he didn't.
Have you modified your setup in any way to make it more accessible?
Okay, so yes, I have modified my controller a little bit. I use a plane remote, and in doing so, I use the right side of the stick, and that allows me to, with the limitations that I have, it allows me to drive just like I'm driving my wheelchair. If I want to go forward, I push forward. If I want to go right, I push right. If I want to go left, I push left. If I want to back up, I pull back. It's the same thing. And then when I let go, it goes back to center. That's the best thing I could tell you to use for anybody who's not a paraplegic. It's one of the easier ways that I found. And you can make that stick out of anything that will fit over the end. So if you go to the hobby shop, they will see it and they can show you how to extend the throttle points on where you got to go and set it up for you, even if you don't know how to set it up already.
And then question 4 is, do you see RC cars as a hobby, a therapy, a passion, or all of the above?
I would say for me, RC started just as a hobby, just to do, something to do, kind of stay out of trouble. Not really stay out of trouble, but just to do something. And then it started turning into like, man, I feel a lot of solitude in what I'm doing. I feel like being out at the lake, driving my RC boats. I love it. I love that feeling. It's just open and free. And so I would say that's where it goes to passion and therapy. Go hand in hand, because you got the passion, it helps you with your therapy. It's just how it goes. And anybody who's in one of these positions, you would probably already know that.
What are all the RCs you're into, the different categories?
Okay, so I got a Losi 22, which is the new sprint car out. I got a custom works sprint car. I have a Baja Ray, which is desert truck. I have a 1/6 scale crawler, which is pretty nice size. And then I have a couple of 110 trucks, crawlers as well. I have a couple of boats. I have a NASCAR. I got a bomber. That's like my Ultra 4 basher that I can just pretty much it's got short course electronics in it, and it's meant for bashing. Other than that, I think that's about all I got as far as rigs right now. I would say my favorite's probably crawling, because I get the most out of it, and you get especially in the spring, nice day when it's not 100 degrees and you can get out by the river's edge, down by the fish hatchery or something. Any rig that I can bring out, I'll bring out, and I always carry them in my truck with me or in my van with me just in case. I gotta wait for somebody to do something, I'll pop one out and play with it right then and there. So what would you wish somebody would have told you?
Yeah.
Like, I've been thinking about that one overnight and everything. Like, the only one thing I could really think of would be that if you just look in the right places or ask the right people or go to your local hobby shop, is your first step. You know what I mean? Like, just coming into the shop here and being like, what would it take for me to be able to get into RC? Here's my limitations. All you gotta do is ask questions. Don't be shy. Just go into your local hobby shop and see what they can do for you. And then if they can't do much for you, the internet is huge.
Which one would you recommend as an entry vehicle?
Entry-level vehicle, I would actually show you, can I show you the one on the back of my truck?
Yeah,
so I would start out with a base camp right here. And the only thing I've done with this is just put rims and tires and change some of the stickers around a little bit. But this is a great entry-level vehicle for anybody to start with. It is, for the price, it is everything you would want and then some. This rig, I believe, ran around like $325, I think, $340 or something. Not too expensive for the crawling game, but it gives you everything you want as far as the adjustability and shocks all the way around. I would highly suggest this rig. As a matter of fact, I just got one for a friend of mine, and it was the first time he's been into RCing, and he absolutely loves it. Absolutely loves it. He's already doing fender trimming and can't wait to put in overdrive gears and brass here and brass there. So I highly enjoy modifying the crawlers. I would say that's probably the best bang for your buck if you're gonna just get into RC. I would start with the crawlers and then work your way up to your faster vehicles, because by the time you get the dexterity of being able to run one of these, you'll be able to run a little bit faster car, and then a little bit faster car, a little bit faster car, until you're up there running with the big dogs, you know, and that's what I'm personally trying to do. So I also like my SCX6 though. It's this big, so trying to find room to run that is a little hard, especially when you kick it into second gear, because second gear, it just wants to jam on second gear. Like, it wants to burn out, do 360s and everything. It's hard to control. So I just leave it on first gear, and like that's good enough. I got a GoPro mounted, and I'm gonna mount my GoPro in the front seat, and so that way we can Bluetooth it to my phone, so I can go like up behind rocks, be able to see, because there's a lot of area on Kugling that I can't get my chair physically to, but I can get the truck there. I just can't see what's in front of me, so we're gonna use my GoPro and phone it or Bluetooth it to my phone, or either that, or I was just gonna have Jared hook me up with a camera system, build me a camera system, but I was like, I think the GoPro might be a little cheaper to go for now. I was like, all we gotta do is unscrew this pan and pop the GoPro in. But yeah, this is great. Like I said, all I've done is change tires and rims from the stock. Oh, and I took the back cargo box off to make it kind of look like a regular truck, take a little bit of top heaviness off it. But yeah, I would highly recommend these.
Cool, thank you.
Yeah.
That was right. Thanks for sharing your story.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, for sure.